let me admit a couple of people. Let's just start with roll call. Ariel?
Perfect. So for roll call today, if everyone in the chat or just actually just mention Meg and say what you would like to see near SU for the Benson retail construction.
Phil's would be good. I agree, Ciara. Let's move on to the invocation while you all get your ideas out and flowing. Can I have a volunteer to read out the invocation, please?
I can do it. May we, the Student Senate, have the wisdom, patience, and guidance to be responsible representatives. May we be fair in judgments, enlightened in our discussions, and ethical in our actions.
Go Broncos. Thank you, Izzy. Let's move on to the land acknowledgement statement. Can I also have a volunteer to read that out?
Yeah. We pause to acknowledge that Santa Clara University sits on the land of the Ohlone and the Muwekma Ohlone people who traced their ancestry through the Mission Dolores, Santa Clara, and San Jose. We remember their connection to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to live, work, learn, and pray on their traditional homeland. Let us take a moment of silence to pay respect to their elders and to all Ohlone people of the past and present.
Thank you, Cassidy. Let's move on to the approval of previous minutes. Oh, this is last week's minutes.
I move to approve last week's minutes.
Motion from Annika.
Second.
Second from Cassidy. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Last week's minutes have been approved. Let's move on to the approval of the agenda. We're gonna first start with updates. So we're gonna go updates. Exec will go first, and then the committee chairs will go next. And then afterwards is new business, and we're confirming a new first year senator. We're gonna talk about the audit resolution, the task force bylaw, and then move on to roundtable remarks. And hopefully we can adjourn by 8. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion from Cassidy.
Second.
Second from, I don't know who said that.
Marielle.
Marielle, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Perfect. Agenda has been approved. Let's move on to updates. I'm getting a phone call for some reason. Here is the weekly updates. Let's start with, or here are the winter recording meeting times. I don't know if all of these things are on our calendar, Ciara, but if they aren't,
We have a calendar.
or do we have a calendar? I thought we did.
Oh, the ASG email one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured people don't use it, or they won't use it, but I can add it to that. I was just gonna pin this in the Slack for people to refer to if they want.
Yeah. Let's move on to, ooh, wow. Gosh.
Changing it up. Yeah, so just kind of a recap of some of the ComDev projects. We are doing Bronco Fridays, which has a portion on Tuesdays, going through a little bit of a name branding. So there's gonna be a Friday portion coming forward, but every Tuesday, Kate Mabert, our civic engagement chair, will be, campus engagement chair, will be posting quick news flashes on the AHG Instagram story, just kind of updates from any of admin emails, condensing them into more short sentences or anything that we may have missed throughout the week. Additionally, first years are starting to launch some sustainability challenges for a community service project. And I know that Kimber is working with Senate to do to help with the U-turn project. Additionally, Katya is finally launching the bi-weekly wellness challenges. So these will focus on different aspects of wellness and be kind of like New Year's resolutions oriented. There will be raffle prizes. I believe one of them will be a hydro flask, something around the $40, $50 ranges. And those will also be social media oriented. I think you can notice by now we have a bit of a social media focus because we can't do things in person. And lastly, first years are going to be hosting freshmen with Instagram takeovers to help let freshmen know of what possible opportunities there are in clubs and showcase freshmen who are already a part of these clubs so more people can join the community. Yeah, major updates.
PR? Seems like we don't have anyone from PR, but if you're available for Student Spotlight and want that clout to be on ASG's Instagram, hit up Elena. And as always, if you have any big projects that's gonna need a little bit more help from PR, more than just like one Instagram post, hit them up. And I think there are a number of projects. I think PR is vastly underutilized. So if you have any ideas, or if there's ever anything that you need like more people to be aware of, there's a ton of resources that PR can provide. So attend their meetings Tuesday at 3:15 if you want to learn more. Let's move on to judicial.
What's up, y'all? Some good news and some bad news here. Upcoming, actually, this is not updated. Sorry, didn't change that, but task force's bylaws coming out today. Check it out. Hope you like it. The bad news on this is that for those of you who missed retreat, if you did not give us an email, didn't give something, you've received a not so fun email from me on some situations to remedy that. So please get that finished before next Senate. It's very important. It's in our bylaws. Got to get that done. Want to try a bylaw? Come talk to us. But this week we're introducing something new. If you can go to the next slide, we're doing bringing up some bylaws for judicial as part of my updates. Justin, you can go to the next slide. And actually the next one. Today we're going to talk about the CASA social media standard, and Associate Justice Ali Bear will talk about his really sick slide. So if you can go one more time.
Wow, thank you for that introduction, Robbie. Welcome to our new segment, Bringing Up Bylaws. So we want to make sure that everyone knows what's in our bylaws, or at least we can help you get interested in learning what's in it because we can't read it all to you. So we're going to start with CASA social media standard, especially us being online. It's very important. It's an important bylaw to remember. So this is your reminder on top of retreat last week. So some background about what it is. It's one of our 3 ASG standards, and it's named for Helen Casa, who was a senior senator last year and brought this to everyone's attention in terms of needing a online conduct code of some sort. It essentially it contains guidelines for social media use and making sure we can act professionally and as good role models because we are SCU community leaders. Some content highlights are you're not required to share social media accounts by law. So just so you know what your rights are, that's a good thing to keep in mind. Remain professional when online. Don't post anything derogatory or content that suggests illegal behavior such as drinking, especially while wearing ASG apparel, things like that. We want to preserve the professionality of our organization overall. Along those lines as well, distinguish between your personal opinions and that of ASG. That is important too. And then if anything seems questionable that you see someone else do, it's okay to ask them to edit or remove the offending content or at least have a conversation about it because we all want to make sure we're all being professional online and we can all grow as individuals. So key takeaways, when in doubt, you can read the standard and just be considerate online leaders overall. Thank you guys.
Hello, updates from finance branch. So our big 2 projects this quarter are the budget templates for RSOs, as well as working with the CSI department to do reimbursements. We're also going to be crashing committees. We'll be coming to committee and branch meetings throughout the week. And the goal is not just to have mixer meetings, but also to do a mix of projects, which also falls in line with what SOFT is doing. Yeah, enjoy the GIF.
I want to enjoy it for like 2 more seconds.
I think you pronounced that wrong. So,
Robbie, I think you're wrong.
All right. This week I worked with a lot of our amazing senators here on this resolution that you're going to see tonight. Had a great time doing some collaborating and getting stuff done. So if you ever need help on anything else like that, or anything that, I don't know, you just want to ask a question, I'm here. I know we also have that feedback comment and we're going to see it again tonight. I just want to remind everyone that, you know, what you do is what you do. And if there's stuff that's said that makes you feel, you know, a little irked, it's like that Nike slogan, or I don't know why I associate it with all the Nike t-shirts that say haters are our motivators. If it's untrue, you know, but it just know you're all rock stars. Don't take things personally that are just slander. Hopping into your meetings, I had a blast at the PR meeting. Hawad, I'm coming to your meeting tomorrow at 1:00, just for a little bit. All right, we can have some fun, talk business, whatever it needs to be. Abby, I will be there on Sunday at 5:00, and Robbie, Monday at 5:15. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll see you all there. There's been a lot of chit chat about holding admin accountable, and I think the way that we've handled the situation going forward with the audit has been positive so far. But just a reminder that there are going to be other projects, and this, you know, passing a resolution or whatever we do with the resolution is not doesn't solve all of the issues of holding admin accountable. So if you work on a project and you feel like you haven't heard back from them in a while, or some administrative member or some other faculty member, staff member said they're going to do something and they haven't done it, follow up with them. Don't be like afraid of it. It's important that they hear our voices. So just a little reminder there. We as exec have been working on archiving everything that we've been working on this year so far. And that's something that I think is just going to be, it's like a passive project to work on. I would encourage Senate exec to do something similar to that, because I think it is helpful for people next year who take over that specific role to see what exactly has worked well and what hasn't worked well, and different practices that you like. So I would encourage that. And maybe even if you're not a Senate exec, if you are an at-large position or a class senator and you want to put your feelings down and give some advice to the person who's going to take over eventually, maybe that's something to get started on, just passively, as you have these reflective moments. Today, CR and I met with Jeannie, or Jeanne, as Elena once called her. Elena called Jeannie, she said Jeanne, and then we said, her name's Jeannie. She said, that's what I call her. And I said, all right, respect. This is really funny, because if you read Jeannie's name, it kind of does look like Jeanne sometimes. So that was, I don't know if it's actually that funny, but it was kind of funny. And we did talk a lot about COVID and about the resolution and all of that jazz. The main thing was that obviously there was some parties last weekend and people were really upset about the lack of accountability that the students had for attending and throwing these parties where there's like 50 people. And it doesn't make sense that parties last year in 2019 or in pre-COVID era would get rolled very fast. And now for some reason, there's been a blind eye turned to complete disregard for the public health and safety of other students, as well as it runs counter to everything that the university's been putting out there. So there will probably, it sounds like there's going to be increased enforcement, as there should be, of parties and things like that. There have been student hearings that have happened with Kim Gilkey's office, and if there's like a citation written, they can go into the public record, see what it is, and then have a conversation with those students. And if students have been caught multiple times, then it turns into a code of conduct issue. So there have been measures taken, but it's just very weird, I think, for all of us to see a total disregard just being allowed by SCPD as well as campus safety and all that jazz. If noise complaints were a big deal last year, I don't know why they wouldn't be right now. It's a targeted, I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to. And we also talked about something that CR and I had a lot of conversations last quarter with the off-campus living office about having on-campus isolation spaces for students who live off campus. And that was deemed unfeasible. And now I know we're seeing all these cases just go absolutely insane. And it seems like a good idea to have that open again. I know it's two-sided because some people could say that you're rewarding people for the universities then looking out for people who go out, but then at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't go out and are being safe or just get COVID because they just got COVID and they weren't doing anything wrong. They need a space to go if their housing situation is not good. So we are going to be chatting with Robin Reynolds again about that. And we've been working a lot this past week with Dr. Kat Saxton, who did speak at one of our Senate meetings last quarter about different ideas about how to get messages across about what students need from the university. And we're going to keep working with her to see what we can advocate for, including the on-campus isolation spaces. There's plenty of dorms. We think it is a possibility. So that's something we're working on. If you have other ideas about what students want and need right now from the university, please let us know. And we'll make sure to work with Kat on that as well. We're just trying to get more feedback. We're going to put another question on the ASG story asking about what students need and all that jazz. Also, that picture is of my grandpa in Antarctica in the 80s, and he's wearing a tuxedo under a snow coat, and he looks so cool. And I saw that at their house over winter break, and I was like, Grandpa, you look like James Bond. And his name's not James Bond, his name's Bill. And I feel like everyone would like to go to Antarctica right now. So there we are in Antarctica.
Hi all. I also put a picture of my family. As you can see, those are my cousins and my uncles, my dad, and a special guest. Okay, so use the Slack, obviously. For those who are just a reminder to make sure your camera's on during Senate, unless obviously you have Wi-Fi challenges. Shout out to all the great work SAC and Finance are doing. Got to hop in on their meeting and going to FFCs and ComDevs this Sunday. And then in the spring quarter, we'll rotate. So we get to hit all of the committees. Also, thank you. Shout out to those who came to the audit convo. It was really helpful just to have a more intimate conversation about what's going on. And even though it was mostly ASG, I think it was still helpful. We're going to be introducing, so basically we are throwing away the project tracker despite many of my, me wanting to, definitely rip. But thanks to Yash, as you can see, he's the most skilled technologically. So he is trying to set up Coda for us, and basically the onus will not be on any of the members, but just the Senate exec and exec members to basically track your project. So you don't have to worry about it. But what's cool about this is there will be an opportunity for us to post about it on ASG's Instagram as well as on our website so that students can check in on what ASG is doing if they're interested and want to collaborate. So it's supposed to kind of mitigate the issue of what does ASG actually do. I sent an email earlier today about the Board of Trustee subcommittee updates for the Student Life and Athletics Committee. If you accomplish something that you want me to share, add the bullet on my doc and make my life easier because I don't know every project that everyone was working on last quarter and if those finished last quarter or if you're still working on them, and no matter what committee you're on, it would be helpful to have that. And if I don't think it's relevant to this conversation for next week, I'll just delete it or I'll save it for something else, but it would just be good to put anything on there. I'm going to drop the link soon. And raise your hand if you think that Anne and I should still have our office hour weekly thing. If not, I won't be hurt. You can raise your hand on Zoom. I just want to know like what's the best way that Anne and I can use our time, because I don't want to sit in an hour and then like one person comes to say hi and then that's all. Like that's cool. I like that too. But like I'd rather just have Anne and I be like there if someone has questions. Okay. So like 8 folks. Yeah, so I just want to extend the hand of, if someone has questions and wants to meet with us, we're available. We've done that a few times already. What time would it be going forward? Yeah, we'll consider all these things. Anne and I have just been picking it each week because it's just easier that way with our meetings being all sporadic, but we'll talk again. I just wanted to get a pulse. And then student trustee resolution update. We might actually have like the student body president sit as a non-voting member on the trustees, and then more students on all the subcommittees. So that's super exciting. Thanks, Anne, for the audible enthusiasm. So that's going to be discussed at their nomination and governance committee on next Friday. And Kevin O'Brien, I don't know why I called him Kevin O'Brien, the famous man of the week, has been, he's supporting it, as well as the committee chair of the committee that will most likely pass it. But it still might not happen till June, which is annoying. But I'm just trying to make sure that it happens for the next ASG president and for just ASG in general. So yeah, I know voting power, but none of the Jesuit schools have it. So I wasn't going to push for that. Cool. Okay. Thanks, y'all.
Hey guys, so SAC's been working on funding requests. Funding requests were due this Sunday, so we have 63 to look over and improve. So we're gonna get them done by this weekend. Marielle, Rachel, and Jenna are working on a Black History Month and Women's History Month awareness program. They have a little more details, but Black History Month is coming up in February, and then Women's History Month is in March. So they're working on raising awareness, and if any of you are interested in getting involved, please reach out to them. These are some updates from past projects, but Vanessa was helping with the health insurance project. Diego and Melanie worked on the no pass resolution, and Melanie and Kevin have been working very hard on soft. And then I have next week, I'm reaching out to the MCC to kind of show them the allocations. For the MCC groups, we have lots of cultures of funding requests. And then I'm also working with Lori and Ted to see what can be done to give ASG a little more power about dissolving RSOs. There's still a lot to talk about, but we're looking in that direction. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone. So for FOC, just some updates. So we have the Benton Retail Project, and we are meeting with Prometheus tomorrow, which is very exciting. Thanks for everyone who filled out the survey. Really appreciate your participation and feedback, and like also your suggestions today. Obviously, I've had Splash going on. Christina and Emma have been working on a Greek Life Summit with the Wellness Center, and still kind of like waiting on that all gender bathroom project with Cassidy. And then Izzy will be taking part in the Benton Retail Focus Groups tomorrow with Prometheus. Anne's killing it in hip hop. Olga's working on VTA and a project with her ASG buddy, Rose Nakamoto. And then Pau, shout out to Pau. She's had like 10,000 things on her plate, but she's been handling it so well. We're thinking about maybe like getting all the committees or branches in ASG to like participate in this food waste challenge, and you basically like sign up as a team and you like log how much food waste you guys produce as a team, and yeah, there's like a prize for the winning team. And then also she's been working on like Faces of Sustainability and looking into a potential project with the MCC and Center of Sustainability. So yeah, that is all for me.
Hi everyone. Okay, so for some quick CSC updates, I'm still just working on the Student Safety Task Force, and then also, like always, I'm collaborating with Advocacy for Workers on campus. And this quarter, they're bringing back the labor rights teach-in, so I'm kind of like helping the new team do those since I led them all of last year. And then Angel is still kind of working on her VTA project / task force, and then obviously she has a new leadership position in ISAC and has been busy there. Cassidy kind of created this really extensive proposal and timeline with like 3 different phases for the bathroom initiative, which she is It's the All Gender Bathroom Initiative, which she's collaborating with FOC on. And then Ifani has a bunch of new projects, which is really exciting. So King's Talk is like going to be a like kind of like therapy group slash conversation group for Black men on campus specifically. And then there's the 100 Black Men of Silicon Valley chapter that he wants to establish, which is like a professional organization. And then also establishing the LBBA, LSBA Diversity Council. And then Rosie is collaborating with Safe Sex SEU on free STD testing in Cowell, which has been kind of a long time initiative, which is a hard push, but I'm glad that ASG is going to be working with Safe Sex on that, kind of a new partnership. And then Sam is working on a collaboration with the Cowell Center. Currently, it's a collaboration around the Warm Line, but I think it's going to be kind of more things as the quarter goes on. And then Theo has his Lift project, which kind of was started last quarter and is continuing this quarter, as well as his Campus Safety Res Life initiative, which is very timely now with all the other audit stuff coming out. But yeah, I think that's all for CSC.
Hey everybody, good to see you all tonight. Cece's been really busy. I want to shout out Annika, KJ, and Zakia for helping author the resolution we're going to look at really soon. Annika's been working with Me Too SCU. They have a really well-made and established Instagram page now. I have learned that the Title IX website is something that she'll be taking on with TED to simplify the usage and the interface of that. And also a podcast will be coming through that body of work as well. KJ is in the planning process with the CS Dojo, the hub type for CS project proposal. Yes, I know, Meg, I wanted them all in the same line. A while back, I think a couple weeks ago, the health insurance event Emma was working with a team of you all on went well, and she is also in a planning phase for this very big Wellness Student Council project. Grace is looking forward to sharing the resolution from tonight with our racial justice faculty group, and I think is going to be meeting with Ciara and myself soon to find some new projects. Or if you want to reach out to Grace Gilmore, 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 or yeah, it's like the GIF debate. Okay. Willa is working on a first-year social event with her poli-sci peers, a Zoom social, and is checking in to see how ASG can support our Native American Coalition for Change. As for Zakia, may be getting some more updates on this tomorrow, but this admin and first-gen panel is coming very soon. Panelists are being finalized. As for me, I'm really hoping we can get some informational graphics up on our SCU page or our Instagram about what our questions for Father O'Brien looked like last week. So that will be a little late, but I know students really want to hear about this. So that's just kind of typing words that can go on graphics soon. And as for me, kind of a sidebar to my interest in working with student workers, I'm starting to help out SCIU 1021, which is one of our public workers unions that's helping support our adjunct lecturers. I'm helping them with some PR. So hoping to learn from them, get some insight about what they're doing with our adjunct faculty union and see how we can apply that to help support student workers early on in this big project. So thank you, everybody.
And with that, we will go back to the original set of slides. Let's move on. I think the next thing we have is new business. First year senator confirmation. Udita, are you here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you want to just give a quick introduction of yourself, the position you're being appointed for, and why you want to be in that position?
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Udita. I'm from India. I'm undeclared in the business school right now, but I'm thinking of majoring in finance with a minor in retail studies. I'm being offered the position of the first year senator. So I applied for this position for a couple of reasons. First, because I like working for people and representing them. I was a part of the student government in high school, and I really like that. I think it was one of the best learning experiences. But one of the main reasons is I want to help create an environment for first years to get involved. From what I've seen is that though there are a couple of opportunities for first years to get involved, but the first year, there are many people who are actually not involved in anything, and that is because of the virtual environment. I mean, I've heard people talk about not being able to come to Zoom meetings because they're nervous, or not being able to give presentations. So I just want to create an environment where they can actually be comfortable and start to actually, explore the college life. So for that, I have a couple of ideas, like, the first year senators can actually meet them, like have a meeting once a week. So I have a couple of things in mind, but that's one of the main reasons.
Perfect. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Or questions, actually? If not, Cole, can you prepare the breakout room?
Oh wait, CR, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring her back really quick.
Oh, she left. It's fine.
No, she's back.
Are you sure? Oh, is she back? Or do you want me to bring her back?
Sure.
I'll just bring her back. I'll bring her back.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I didn't realize she left.
Okay, she's back.
Hi, Udita. Sorry about that. My question is just kind of being a first year, like what is something that you're looking forward to pursuing, and kind of what do you think is like your greatest strength, like in terms of leadership?
So as I mentioned, I have an idea in mind, like where, so I think it's very important for first years to actually know their first year senators. If we have been on campus, we would definitely haven't had an elaborate election process, and they would have got an opportunity to know them. But like for me, I didn't have that. So it's very important that we kind of meet once a week, like all the first year senators meet with the first years once a week, giving them an opportunity to, just come out and have like a chat, because that's very important. I think that's a very good starting point. As for the leadership quality, I have been in ASG before, and I have worked with people for about 2 years in school. So I think that would be a kind of plus point for me.
Thank you.
Perfect. If there aren't any other questions, Cole, we'll move her to the waiting room. She has moved. Can you stop the recording and the live real quick? I'm bringing her back right now. I think she's back. Welcome back, Udita. You've been officially nominated and confirmed as our last senator. We now have a full Senate again. Udita, just stick around for the entire meeting. You can vote and everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Perfect. Let's move on to the audit resolution. I will go ahead and show you guys the audit. I don't want Grammarly. Abby, take it away.
This is not my resolution.
Oh wait, no, sorry. That's for the task force.
Abby can take it away though if she wants to.
No.
We just wanted Abby to talk. I will talk a little bit about it, and then any of the other senators who collaborated on it, if you want to speak, that would be awesome too. We really wanted to get this out there in a time-sensitive manner, just because it's very important to show that we care about this and that we do have expectations for the behavior of an admin. What we did here is we listed out all the stuff, gave some information about the audit, and then we have all of the recommendations in appendix, and then also all of the student feedback that came from Senate last week, the event on Tuesday, and then also we got 10 responses from a Google form that we sent out. So we just put all of that as it was on the audit or in the resolution. So the administration is going to be able just to see that just straight up. Our main ask that we are urging them to do here is by the date of the ISAC form, I believe is February 17th. Am I right on that?
Yes.
Okay. By the date of that, we would like them to send out, publish a timeline with targeted dates of targeted dates for completion of each recommendation, because obviously big things like restructuring campus safety under the Division of Student Life is not going to happen in like a month, but we want to know when they're going to start and when they're going to end, and just to see that there's a commitment towards working forward towards this. And that is what I have to say about it. Oh, also, this is something that we might need feedback on. Justin, can you scroll down to that one comment? Okay, so I just put this thing in as it was completely because I didn't want to change any of the feedback. I just wanted to just present as it was. Obviously, that's where that not so nice comment comes in. So I'm fine with it in there because it's just straight up and we're not shifting anything that anyone wrote. But also it has been raised to my concern that those concerns of whatever that phrase is, it has been brought to my attention that it might be a little weird for Senate to vote on a resolution and hopefully approve a resolution that has something like this written in it about ASG. So I don't really care. I could go either way. I think maybe we do like a little hand raise thing, or if anyone has thoughts, opinions on it, let's chat about it. If anyone else wants to say anything about the resolution.
I just want to throw in this one thing, that there is this one line that I do really like within the resolution and that I would love to call attention to, just about how up until this point, administration has sort of denied all forms of criticism or feedback, the bearing in mind line specifically about campus safety. And so with the release of this audit, and their excuse has always been wait until the audit comes out. And so I think this is a super strong move on our part in terms of saying, okay, the audit is out and we're holding you to those promises you made several months ago. And yeah.
So Diego, I see your hand is up.
My bad.
Oh,
I don't know why it's up.
It's all good.
Are there any comments, questions, or concerns?
Does anyone feel a certain way about that comment at the end? If we should leave it or include it?
Yeah, I can give a brief. I think for me there, in terms of a resolution, I think there's a certain level of professionalism that we do need to maintain, given that all 28 senators would be voting on it, and if it ends up being a unanimous vote, I don't think this necessarily adheres to a level of professionalism that ASG should kind of evoke. That being said, I do think the criticism is comes from a good place. So I don't know. That's just up to you guys. But Ciara, I guess we can do a straw poll for, I don't really know how it would work. Who, I guess raise your hand if you want to keep this specific section within as the first appendix 2 thing, and raise your hand if you would like to do so.
Can I offer an alternative?
What's up?
At the beginning of the appendix, we could just put a note that says this is directly from students and we did not make any edits, and then leave it at that, because that way it's not coming from us.
Yeah, I am all into that. Someone did write John Loretta instead of Loretto, so I fixed that. But I didn't censor any words or anything like that.
Also, I want to add that I sent a lot of this feedback already to Jess Father O'Brien and Molly McDonald, his chief of staff, on Friday, as promised following our Senate last week. So in that one, I did censor it and take out the stuff that was referring to ASG, but so he's like seen the censored version. Not that that really changes anything, but this is going to be going to more administrators.
I can, where there's cuss words, I can just leave the first letter, then the stars, little asterisk things, because then they still get the point. Maybe that's a good alternative and a way to go about that.
Yeah, and I'll leave that up to you, whatever you want to do. It seems like the straw poll, or 16 people had raised their hands already anyways.
Okay,
so
cool.
Seems we're okay with the way it is currently. I think the next question we have to think about is whether or not we want to vote on this today. And it seems like there is a certain level of urgency behind this resolution.
Yeah, we also did mention this to Jeannie and said that we are working on something like this and it's probably gonna be passed. And she also said that things are time sensitive, but this is our thing. So whatever Senate decides to do, I would say we get it out there because we did put a date on there for a target date for what we are expecting from administration. So I think it makes the most sense to get this out there as soon as possible.
Can I motion a vote?
You have
Yes.
to motion to stop the standing rules or something like that.
Yes, we have to motion to suspend the standing rules.
Suspend is the word I was looking for, yes. Motion to suspend the standing rules about voting the same day, I guess.
Second.
Actually, Ted makes a good point. You should swear in UDIT first before voting, or else you can't vote. So actually, let's take a pause here. Robbie, I'm gonna invite you on, and UDIT, just follow Robbie's lead, I guess.
All right, so you can go ahead and repeat after me. Raise your hand, repeat after me.
Yeah.
Camera's on.
Yeah.
I, please state your name.
I, Udita Jain,
Do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution and bylaws
do solemnly swear to uphold the constitutional bylaws
of the Associated Student Government of Santa Clara University.
of the Associated Student Government of the Santa Clara University.
Congratulations, welcome to Senate.
Thank you.
Perfect. Let's move back to the audit resolution. I would entertain that motion again, Cassidy.
Motion to suspend the standing rules in terms of voting on the same day as a resolution.
Motion from Cassidy to suspend the
Second.
standing rule. Second from Theo. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? I would now entertain a motion to vote.
Motion to vote.
Motion from Theo.
Second.
Second from Abby. All in favor say aye.
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 Perfect. If you would like to, or please raise your hand if you would like to vote in favor of this resolution. I see a thumbs up. It should be a hand up, but oh, KJ did both. Thank you, KJ. And I'll lower all hands now. Is anyone against or not in favor of this resolution? Please raise your hand. Perfect. This audit resolution has now been passed. Congrats, Anne, and everyone else who has worked on this resolution. Now let's
Thank you, team. I'm gonna do asterisks also, by the way. We've made a decision.
And let's move on to the task force bylaw. Abby, this is for you.
Yeah, so Judicial actually put this together, but technically bylaws need to be sponsored by a senator, so I was happy to sponsor this. Pretty much it's just codifying what we're already doing with task forces, which is kind of something that Justin came up with when he became Senate chair. So I've been operating our first task force, which is the student safety task force, and then there's been a few others that have popped up since. And so what this bylaw does is just codify what has already been going on. Robbie and Judicial was really intentional and nice about meeting with all of us chairs to make sure that this bylaw reflected how we're currently doing things and how we think they should be done in the future. One big change is that future chairs will have to propose a resolution in order to form a task force, which is something I recommended because I know I kind of just started my task force and didn't have anything written down about like what the mission was for it or what I wanted to achieve with it. So that'd be good in the future, but I will defer to Robbie because I think he authored and wrote most of it.
I can add some things too as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Allie.
Yeah. So some of the other key points we have in here is that the task forces will remain under the purview of the Senate chair unless the Senate decides that it should be under someone else. Say like Anne wanted to start a task force and like, had someone like make it and like it just like directly relates to something she wants to do. So the Senate could put it underneath Anne if they wanted to, things like that. That's one of the provisions we put in there. It will be, so that's the under the oversight there. And then membership, it can be any member of the larger Santa Clara community, or so like students, staff, faculty. We left that pretty vague so that we could like create large coalitions of people, because we heard from the folks running task forces that that's the big advantage of task forces in their mind. And then the last thing too to point out is that we felt that it should be run by an ASG member. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to be a task force rather than an RSO or some other sort of thing, because that connection to ASG is what makes them like more powerful. But we also recognize that there's a way for non-ASG members can be a co-chair, a co-sponsor, etc. I think those are the big things. I guess they also expire each year was the other thing we added. That way we don't end up forgetting what our task forces are year to year, which I think would be the big thing in terms of keeping track of stuff. We don't really have a way to do that yet. So we thought it would make sense to just have them expire unless otherwise provisioned in their resolution.
So I have two questions. The first one is task force. So if they expire at the end of the year, if they aren't renewed, or there isn't an extension, is it automatically assumed that it has disbanded, or is disbanding a separate thing?
Yeah, correct. I would say that's the idea, that at the end of the year they will disband unless there's something in their resolution or that is added to the resolution to make it so that they won't disband automatically.
And one last, this is a suggestion, written task force resolutions. I think this can be for a lot of senators, this can be a challenge in terms of like knowing what such a resolution would look like. And I think it'd be helpful if a template was included in the appendix. I don't know if that would live in the bylaws. I think most of the appendix does live in the bylaws, but
yeah, that's where the appendix is at the end. Yeah, we could look into that.
Yes, I think that would kind of balance between having a formal written proposal while still being accessible to new senators who don't really know how to write a resolution. But yeah, does anyone else have any comments, questions, or concerns? I don't think we're voting on this tonight, so
I was going to put out, as the lovers and the keepers of the bylaws, we don't need to suspend the standing rules for this. This is definitely just an intro night. Read through it, and we want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions or like anything that will make you more comfortable adding it to the bylaws, you can definitely email Robbie or any of the judicial branch with suggestions.
Kathy has a question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one thing. In the membership, it says can include current Santa Clara University community members. And I was just unclear on whether or not that would include alumni, because I know that a lot of the times alumni do like to get involved. That could be a great way to include them, because like the wording of the current Santa Clara community members, though I would argue that like alumni are forever a part of the Santa Clara community. I think either listing them in the faculty, staff, and alumni, or if they're not allowed to be in task forces, then making that clear as well.
Yeah, I think we included then, but not limited to like extend it to that if someone is specifically interested. But I see your point. We can discuss that.
was actually a point just to respond to that we did go back and forth on. That's interesting that you bring that up because we were kind of considering right on it.
Yeah, I just think it would be better if it was more clear. And I think it would be better if alumni were allowed to be in task force, if my opinion matters that much, but that's it.
Perfect. If there aren't any other questions, we can move on to roundtable remarks. Perfect. We'll vote on this next week. If you have any questions or suggestions, especially those who run a current task force that you would or you would potentially want to start a task force in the future, definitely work with Judicial to see if there's any changes that you would want to be made. With that, we can move on to roundtable remarks. I'll just get things first started off. We passed the pass no pass resolution back in Monday, or back in week 1, and it still hasn't been sent out yet. And the reason I've been kind of delaying is because I don't personally think that the resolution itself is going to be enough. I think it's a very it's going to be very easy for the administration to brush off. And I wanted to write a letter, just like a personal letter with my personal opinions on why I think the audit, or why I think pass no pass should be at least reconsidered. At the very least, it doesn't have to be implemented the same exact way as it was last spring. But I guess, I don't know if you guys what your thoughts are. I'm planning on sending this out tonight, if not tomorrow, on my as Senate chair, not on behalf of ASG, because that would require a vote. But I don't know if anyone has any suggestions or comments or concerns. I think there's just one. The last thing I need to add to this is alternatives to adopting the same exact pass-fail criteria as spring quarter. Maybe just extending the pass-fail, extending it so that it counts for the 6 classes, but your major classes can be pass-failed. No, the ellipses are. I just haven't added the rest of the names, Ali, but they will be added. But
wasn't there a petition that went around too? Like you could attach it, so it's not just coming from you; it's coming from all the student body that had signed.
I think that would be part of the email.
Okay.
But we don't have to spend entire roundtable remarks talking about this if no one has any questions or comments. Does anyone else have anything they want to bring up for roundtable remarks?
Fill out the link I sent. Thank you.
Perfect.
Can I motion to adjourn?
Yeah, let's do that. Motion to adjourn from Theo.
Second.
Second from Christina. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Perfect. We are now adjourned. Senate exec and exec, please stay on. Anybody else who wants to be a part of the club, you can also stay on.